We're back with Richard Reviews. Today we are reviewing a book for richardreviews.com/Griffin Chestnut here on YouTube. Today's book that Richard has and is reviewing for us is of course titled The Woman in the Dunes by Kobo Abe. This is of course an official Japanese version of this masterpiece. This piece is known in Japan as being a very famous novel written back in the early 1900s. And of course, Richard had to get his hands on this piece. After, of course, becoming a fan of Kobo Abe himself, he realized that this was a necessity and needed to be in his modern, postmodernist collection. Richard considers himself a libertarian, and this piece, of course, is relevant to that fact. Richard obtained this piece in 2014, and he completed reading it in that same year of 2014 as well. Richard has been to Japan over 5 times since then, and has felt the need to write historically about its culture and the effect it has had on him as a modern-day Sagittarius. This is Richard's official piece that we're going to talk about. This piece right here, it's his personal piece. He got this from a private contractor, which we will talk about. And this is obviously translated into English, considering the fact that Richard does not speak any Japanese at all, except for about, I think, 226 words he can accurately say and write and understand, which is phenomenal, since Richard is highly educated in the literary field. This is translated into English, as you can see the cover, and it is considered a masterpiece. For Richard's brief understanding, he wrote his full review on this that you can check in the link in the description down below. Click the link in the description and you can find his official blog, which he uploaded his official review on this after he worked for the company Templex. He started reading a lot of Japanese literature. Once he got past Russian literature, including Leo Tolstoy, Fyodor Dostoevsky, and many other German and American alike, including Kurt Vonnegut, Charles Bukowski, and of course Robert M. Sapolsky, the American neuroscientists. He has read the likes of Jordan Peterson, Andrew Huberman, Sam Harris, and Ben Shapiro on the crackdown of political engagement in today's modern society. Richard lives in upstate New York, near the town of Schenectady, which is a bit of a drive to his private contractor. His private contractor goes by the name Arn Johnson. That's his online alias. And he lives in the upper northern region in the territory of the Yukon Valley in Canada, near British Columbia. So Richard had himself a trip set out for him to obtain this piece from his private contractor, which he did in a very timely manner. Richard also felt the need to cultivate his description and understanding of a very special Christmas. Richard takes the holiday Christmas very seriously, as he should, as he writes about Christmas in its entirety, from the first day of Christmas to the last day of Christmas, and how each Christmas signifies its differentiality from other experiences around the world. Beautifully economical. Richard has nothing but good things to say about this piece. 2 thumbs up for Richard, 2 thumbs way up in the air. Beautifully economical. Richard has written many different books based on his inspiration, and his interviews that he has wrote about give sensation about the publishers that are present in this piece. There is an intellectual and a cranial capacity of an artichoke, and it's written beautifully. Regardless of how Richard describes his story, The interpretation that you get from Richard's overall review and his insight into how he understands this is straightforward, and it's very unwarranted, and the symbolism is high for its investigation, which brings more into fact about his existential crisis, which turned into a transportation of elemental fusel combustion, which ultimately gave him a 2006 Hugo Award, which he then cultivated into a sand dust, and he spread across the sea into a microphone, and his mouth was walked off stage. This is basically interpreted mainly by this, and his long-standing relationship with diarrhea has only gotten better. He also had a legal dispute with somebody who worked at a cosmetology program in the middle of South Arkansas, which ultimately led him to an increased settlement of about $700.47. He lost that debate through a micro insurgency with debating about how Bitcoin should be floundered and its relative elemental value be decreased while it's raining out. Richard has never lived in the state of Washington, nor does he attempt to, but the eloquent upfront questions regarding his actual date of birth and his premise show that his television obsession has screamed in interviews, and he wanted to move to a state where, according to his political beliefs, he wouldn't have to hate society and people in general. He wants to respond to people in a generalized idea that would bring in a fluidity, and he wouldn't be proven up until this point. He really enjoyed this piece. So let's take a look at the whole piece in general. This is Richard's personal piece. As you can tell, it is a soft cover. It does have good wave to it. Great wave for a soft cover. Look at that softness go. And the cover is a little dirty, but the brim wall is trill. Okay, the top position, as the condition would say, middle cream is very good, bottom trim, top brim, very good. Condition is all around in a good selection piece. Okay, middle cream, very good, top cream, bottom trim, top brim, all very good. Nipple to nipple, north to south, everything is injection. Everything is injection along the bottom too. Top cream, bottom trim, blue brim, and everything is in cream. As we look at the side here, the woman in the dunes, Kobe Abe, and the condition and the selection is in trim. Now, if we look at the back here, we have modern day classic cinema. This is small praise for the artwork, a small synapse of the actual story, which Richard had already went over. The cover design is by John Gold, who has done a lot of Yukiro Mishima's work, as well as Haruki Murakami, and the famous Snow Country by Edward G. Suditskin, and the price we have down here as well. This price, while it's genred under fiction and literature, the price is $16 in the United States, and of course $22 in Canadian. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. Unfortunately, we have a sticker here, probably from the transportation company that brought this piece to Mr. Arn Johnson's facility in the early 1990s. Now, as we open up this piece, we're going to see some highlighted areas which Richard ultimately cultivated in the footnotes section of his own personal piece, and you can tell it has quite a lot of it. Richard is very jumpy in the motions to be done, but it is a well-written piece. As you can tell, it does have some side illustrations that are done by the author himself, and these help cultivate the story and bring it into a more rubber sponge where you can basically just solidify the oil, and you can make your saliva nice and crispy. Okay, this really does show how beautiful his artwork is, and it can really show the condition and the beautivity of this piece. Towards the end, we have what appears to be 231 page marker, so we can confidently say that this piece is a 276 page masterpiece by Kobo Abe, titled The Woman in the Dunes. This is an official Richard review here on richardreview.com. Richard gave this piece 2 thumbs up. Please check it out if you're interested in Kobo Abe and anything Richard reviews. Thank you and goodbye.